Hey guys, I wanted to make a video about analyzing your own mistakes and gameplay. This game I'm playing Darius versus Garen. I'm playing the Garen. I don't want to get too much into the nitty-gritty detail of playing Garen or matching versus Darius, and instead I want to focus on how can you look at your own games and how can you improve on a game-by-game basis by reviewing yourself. So one thing I wanted to mention is that you're really focusing on improvement. You're not really trying to win every single game. And so this game is at Emerald 2. The Darius is like Emerald 2. And I've counterpicked myself. It's a tough matchup. But I wanted to pick Garen because I believe there's something here for me to learn. I haven't played the matchup very often. And there are just going to be some games where I pick Garen, they feel comfortable on Darius, and so they're going to counterpick me. So even though I could have counterpicked this Darius matchup with someone that does really well into him, I decided to go with my main, go with my guts, and just stick to a champion that I want to play a lot. So that's my first thing is you need to focus on improvement when you're reviewing your games. Focus on yourself. Don't focus on what your teammates did. Don't try to assign loss to the game and say, well, we lost this game because my jungler, or we lost this game because of that Baron fight. And instead, look at what you do. So here, my plan is to try to scale up to late game. I've already got a plan. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've got flash. I want to flash Darius's Q. And I've thought this before the game. All right, and we're going to pause that really quick. So what happened there is he ghosts, and I've already been hit by his Q. His Q isn't a really big deal at level 1, but he ghosts, he starts running at me, he's got ghost teleport. So as soon as he ghosted, I should have flashed. The Shyvana versus Echo matchup, typically Echo's going to come gank my lane more than Shyvana is. Shyvana's going to try to take all the minions again, and then maybe do Void Grubs or go do Dragon. She doesn't oftentimes come gank, and without my flash and Darius not having flash, it should be a wash. We should kind of go even. So if I hadn't taken that poor trade right at the start of the game and instead had flashed his ghost, I would have been able to play the rest of this lane out better. So that's the first major mistake that I've made this game. I think there's 5 or 6 major game losing mistakes that I make this game, and there's a lot of little micro mistakes that you'll see spattered throughout. But I wanted to make a point every time I make a major game losing mistake. I wanted to point it out and talk about it. So I should have probably flashed there. I think that would have resulted in a much better laning experience. Darius is really strong early. You can't fight him. And even though I took a kind of bad trade there, I'm still okay. I'm going to play towards late game. And it's okay if I miss some farm. So I see that bad trade and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what do I need to do here? Well, I need to go back and just not die. I'm just trying not to die. I don't want to get dove level 3. Don't want to die for a minion or 2. So I'm playing safe. Still trying to get some CS though. And as I'm sitting here analyzing the game, what I'm looking for is little micro mistakes that I'm making consistently. Like if I'm missing a lot of CS under the tower, or if I'm making mistakes on how I combo Darius, I'm going to make a note of that and possibly go into a custom game to practice it or review it for something I need to change in my future games. Like there, I missed the cannon minion, which is a good example. So if I'm missing a lot of cannon minions, I'm going to try to make changes. If I only miss 1 cannon minion, it's okay. Maybe I just wasn't having my best game, right? So it's okay to miss 1 or 2 cannon minions. But if I'm consistently making the same mistakes over and over and over, or I'm at a level where losing even a single cannon minion is a major mistake, then That's something I'll focus on later, but I'm still making mistakes like level 1. I'm getting all in by Darius and getting chunked out half my HP. So because I'm making mistakes that are greater than losing just one cannon minion, I'm going to focus on improving those first and then worrying about, okay, well, I made a little micro mistake. I need to work on that. So here I'm thinking, okay, I want to push this out so that I can get a free recall. Tried to dodge Darius's Q there by just standing within it. Used my W there to block some of the damage from his passive, which I think was a mistake. Probably should have saved my W there. And I'm looking and I see Echoes doing stuff on the map against Shyvana. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm actually a lot safer here than Darius, because Darius wants to go down and fight that Echo. And I just want to be in a position where I can punish Darius if he goes down and tries to protect Shyvana. So like by just standing in lane, I'm kind of preventing that Echo from getting collapsed on. Now, if I go and fight Darius there, I might just die. So I just need to be in the lane doing something. So I think I played that relatively well. It sucks because right now I'm just losing CS. I'm probably down 15 CS. I'm down 13 CS right now, and the wave's pushing back into me. It will take a while, but you know, Echo's really low. He's not next to me here, but he can't help me. So I just have to wait. And all of this is kind of inconsequential, and I think a lot of players get stuck at this point where they see that I'm just, for 2 or 3 minutes here, I'm just going to pace back and forth doing nothing. And I'm just conserving my HP and making sure that I don't throw, right? Because if I die here 2 or 3 times, the game's over for me. I'll get killed all game. I'll never come back, and the game will be impossible. So I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I just need to pace around. Now, this is the like matchup knowledge. Knowing that Darius is able to just crush me out of lane, and if I die to him twice, I lose the game. That's something you need to learn with time, and understanding that it's better to lose 10 or 15 CS than to go die to Darius 2 times. And this is going to make you a lot more consistent of a player, because there's not very much that Darius can do to me that is going to make it so that I lose the game. Like, he's trying to deny me farm, but he's not able to like kill me 12 times because I'm just standing really far back. And if he was playing really aggressive, he'd actually lose more. So he could possibly deny farm by pushing it slower or trying to zone me off XP range, but he can't just completely lock me out of the game at the moment, and that's what I'm going for. My goal is to just have a solid game. I don't need to go 5-0. I just want to make sure he doesn't go 5-0. So now my thought is, okay, I'm just waiting for a gank. Like, I still don't really want to fight Darius. Like, I can trade with him because I can use Garen's passive to heal back up, but I don't want to be fighting him to the death. I have a lot of minions here, and you can see even with the minions, it's rough. And right there, I consciously thought at the start of the game, I want to flash his Q, and I flash his Q in that fight, and it saves my life. So knowing the best times to flash is going to really help you. I got him low enough that he's a little bit worried about dying, and so he recalled as well. So we both recalled. He's worried about Echo coming up. Echo's full life. His team was over at Dragon, so that trade ends up being kind of inconsequential. But it's an okay trade for me. Like, it's not the worst. I get to go back and buy. I buy boots. Boots are going to help me a lot against his ghost. And so I'm just thinking, okay, I'm still just waiting for a gank. Like, I'm falling further and further behind right now. I think I'm 20 CS behind, and it's pushing into him. He's going to be able to just force any fight that he wants. And I'm trying to use my phase rush to get out. So right here, that's phase rush, me getting out. Not great, right? Like I'm low life again. Probably shouldn't have taken that trade, but it's okay. I'm not dying. I'm getting some CS, and I'm really looking for mistakes that are game breaking. Like taking a bad trade. Yeah, okay, I've taken 2 bad trades now. Maybe I need to start thinking about that and not make that choice as much anymore. And I missed another cannon. I missed the cannon because I'm just spinning on the minions. Sometimes it's okay to just spin on the minions and miss the cannon, because really I'm just trying to deny damage on the turret plates. Just protecting my turret plates will deny a lot of the gold generation that Darius can get over me here. And I see Karma's coming up, so I'm thinking, okay, I'll start to trade. Okay, and I want to pause that and rewind just a little bit. Okay, so right here, I see my ults coming back off cooldown here, and I've got my Q coming off cooldown here. I should have Q'd first and then R'd. Now, they were both coming off cooldown at around the same time, so there wasn't too much that I could do, but if I was 100 HP less, I would have just died there, right? So if I make the Q first, he does a spin on me still, but it doesn't lock me in animation where I can't dodge his Q, and he's silent so he can't use his R. So if I Q R there, probably in more fights, I'm going to come out ahead. So that's actually a game-losing mistake right there in a lot of games. If I run up there, use my R first on Darius instead of my QR, I'm going to lose that a lot of the time, and I'll lose the game because of it. Because think of a scenario where Darius just kills me using his Q and then his R, and I don't quite kill him because he gets healing on his Q. And then he goes and kills Karma as well because she's overextended there, thinking that I'm going to help her. So that can be a really big mistake. It can be a really big like comeback play that Darius can make. And you really want to think about, how am I using the micro of my abilities to win these kind of matchups? So yes, this one is specific to Garen, but my goal here is telling you guys, hey, these are the little things that you can look at. If you see a really close fight or a really close trade, look at what you did. So right here, Darius is going for my tower plates, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, he just traded a lot of his HP for the tower plates. In 20 seconds, I want to ult ignite him and just kill him. So that's my plan. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to try to heal up, then I'm going to trade him and all in him. And this is the first time I felt ahead in the whole lane. Like, I got that kill from the Karma matchup. And we trade. I end up bleeding out here, which is fine because I denied some CS. So that actually was a pretty good winning trade for me. Darius has been well ahead the whole laning phase. Going 1-for-1 with him is okay for me right now. So I'm thinking, okay, that's fine. I had to use Ignite R. It would have been better if I got away with that for free, but that's not the worst thing. So looking at those little trades and thinking, okay, what can I do better? Well, I got the minions in there. Push them to his tower. Now it's rebounding. So I'm actually coming out of that a little bit ahead. Yes, I'm 21 CS down. When you start to look at my items right here, we have very similar items. We actually have almost the exact same items. I have a Doran's shield and he has a Doran's blade, but we oftentimes are coming back to lane with very similar gold counts. So even though he's been up in CS this whole time because I got that gank from Karma, which I was waiting for, I'm going to come out and be fine. So I want to focus on things like, you see bot lane are having all these fights. And when you're reviewing your own games, you don't really want to spend a lot of time reviewing those fights down there, because that's not going to help you improve. right? Like looking at it and saying, oh man, my team came out behind there, or my team came out ahead. That doesn't change how you're gonna do in your fights. So instead, you should be looking at those trades and thinking, okay, this Darius just made the mistake a second time of going and trying to fight that plate and trading his HP for it. So now, same thought, I'm going to try to all-in Darius while he's at a lower HP value and get a kill on him because of that plate. Now, there's another moment as well here. Let's go back. Under this tower, let's see where it happens. Let's go back 10 seconds. Right here, I actually level up and I can... Oh, maybe it's not here. At one point, I level up and I don't level up my E in real time and use it right before I start spinning. So that's a little micro mistake that I make where I should have leveled up my E right before I use it on him underneath the tower, and then I would have gotten an extra couple hundred damage. Didn't matter here. Press R, get the kill, right? So I'm exploiting this Darius for trying to push the tower and get the gold. Darius knows that he should be winning. Like, he's like, I've been crushing this Garen under the tower wave after wave after wave, and he's kind of getting mad and getting impatient. And so that's something you can learn from and say, I don't want to get impatient. What can Darius do better in that same situation? Well, he can push it much slower into me and force a lot of bigger trades where I either lose 3 melee minions worth of gold, or I come fight him outside of the tower. And if he forces that more often, it will be better. But if you look at how he's playing, he bought a Tiamat, and he's just auto-attacking the wave, auto-attacking the wave. He's going to push it right back into me, and you can see I've missed 0 CS from this push right here, right? So he's not actually getting anything. He's not actually getting anything from these little trades, right? Like, I'm actually ahead of him. I think he's level 11, I'm level 12 right now. He's level 10, I'm level 12. So I'm actually getting quite a ways ahead. And as soon as I can, I'm trying to recall and go buy my Stride Breaker. But I can't really do that because he's just auto-pushing, which is okay. It's okay for him to auto-push. He's going to trade out the tower here. I can see that happening. But he can't really fight me, right? Like, he can't kill me. Because I'm just going to run away every single fight that he engages on me. And as soon as I get my Stride Breaker here, Garen and I are even on items. I think we're actually exactly even on items right now. So he's got Stride Breaker boots and a Doran's Blade. He has Stride Breaker boots and a Doran's Shield. So this is where I'm thinking, okay, I want to get 40 more CS, and that will max out my W. When you max out your W on Garen, you get 10% bonus magic resistant armor, and it makes you significantly tankier. It's a really, really big deal to get on Garen. It's to have 150 CS stacked up on that. One thing to note, Darius went and took my tower, and then he immediately recalled and gave me his tower. So he's been pushing that tower all game long. He's been pushing it, and he's been outplaying me in the actual 1v1 battles in lane, but he doesn't actually see a benefit from it because he's kind of given that up in terms of kills and fighting and taking bad trades with me. Whereas if he had just kept focusing on CSing and denying me CS, I would have had a much worse game here. So, thing to note is, don't just push down the tower and immediately surrender your own tower. It doesn't actually provide you that much gold. And the gold that I got from kills and from getting his tower, it kind of evens out with the gold that he got from CSing and the tower plates. All right, so at this point, I'm about to hit that late game power spike from scaling up my W. I've got my Stride Breaker. What am I thinking I want to do now? Well, now I think I actually beat Darius. As soon as I get the max W, which is going to be here in about 2 waves, I'm thinking, okay, I just beat Darius all the time now, and I want to kind of roam around the map collecting turrets or fighting 1v1s with Darius. If I can get an opportunity to, say, fight Aphelios, I want to be smacking Aphelios and killing him. But I don't really want to go into a bunch of team fights and fight heads up with the enemy team right now. Like, I'm not fast enough. A lot of the like carries are gonna trade with me. So here I see the Echo's actually pretty close. Let's rewind that just a second. I see Echo is actually at his golems right now. So I see Darius come into lane, and I'm thinking, Echo, come on, let's do this. Like, Darius is just going to walk straight up at me, and Echo kind of ignores it. And so I see Echo ignores it, and I just need to get out. Now, I could take this trade and lose it, but if I take that trade and lose it and blame Echo, that doesn't help me improve, right? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, that sucks. I certainly could have come out way ahead if the Echo came over here. But Darius used his ult there. I flashed his Q like I was planning, and again, it saved my life. So planning for the matchup early and kind of understanding what's going to happen can really help. And again, here, I probably should have recalled. I have 1,600 gold. That's too much to go back and try to fight Darius again. But I know Darius doesn't have his... He doesn't have his ult. I have red buff and ignite. So, really close fight, but I end up squeaking it out. I think that was a mistake to not go by there. But it works out in the end because I've got red, right? So I'm thinking to myself now, okay, I want to push out maybe one more wave and then recall, depending on what the enemy does. I see Dragon coming up, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll keep pushing. I can heal up. Darius is dead for another 15 seconds. Maybe I can get some damage on this tower. Right, they're all fighting over Dragon.
Rampage. An enemy has been slain.
So I get the gold here from the tower as well. So that one fight gave me 1,600 gold. From killing Darius, getting those waves, going in, blowing up the tower gives me a ton of gold. Like, that really set me really, really far ahead. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, now I need to recall. Like, I got 3,200 gold. That's a ton, right? And this is a mistake here. I'm not recalling, right? So I just, in the middle of the game, I wasn't thinking that. I was just thinking, oh, I'll just keep farming. I'm just farming. If I get into a fight here, I'm thinking, oh, I'm full life. My ult's coming up. Maybe I'd go fight Darius right here, which would be a huge mistake. Like, I have 3,500 gold. I should not be fighting. I should just be going back. I think here, if we rewind that. I have a shutdown. I have a 250 gold shutdown. So if Darius kills me, he gets 550 gold. Like, I really don't want to give him that gold. And if you look at his items, he actually has better items than I do right now. So in that last fight, he already had better items than me. Okay, so now I finally recall, right? Like, so that's a pretty big mistake. Is probably for about 3 or 4 minutes there, I should have already had recalled. I go for heal cut here. I think that's great against Darius. But yeah, buying a full item from scratch is typically a mistake. So shouldn't be doing that. That's a game losing mistake to be out fighting Darius when I've got 3,000 gold and not really, I shouldn't be taking risks. Try to group with the team here, but they're just kind of sieging the tower. Now I could play up front, but Darius and Shyvana are just blowing up the wave, and Shyvana's in her dragon form. So while she's in her dragon form, there's not really a point to me trying to siege the tower with them. Like, maybe I could show up the next wave, but we're going to struggle. I go up, I'm just going to go back to farming. I'm so far ahead of Darius that any 1v1 I take with him is going to be good. And Karma ends up getting hot here, but it's not worth even really worrying about. We're worrying about things I could have done better. And maybe I could have sat there and traded in mid with them, and that could have been better, but I don't think so. I think the best thing I could have done here is force Darius to come fight me 1v1, getting a good trade and winning matchups that way. And this is something that's really important that I think a lot of players don't think about is I need to just protect my shutdown at this point. Like, if I die to Sona, that's fine. But if I die to Aphelios or Darius, that can lose us the game. Because giving them that big shutdown gold is really, really bad for us. Now, I come down here and I'm thinking maybe I can just get this tower while Darius is mid. And I can get this trade. And as soon as he's here, I'm like, oh, I got to get out. This is not good. I shouldn't have been here in the first place. And this, I actually get carried here a little bit, right? So that was a 4v4 with the Herald, and my team killed 3 of them. So I just get away with, and again, I just flash his Q, go over the wall, he ghosts. I just counter it. But I'm getting carried here, and this is something to really take note of. If I'm 0-6 here, because I've just been trying to fight Darius and I've been really struggling, Darius, I don't get to walk up into top lane and just split push. Darius just kills me there, right? He'll just kill me over and over. But because I played so safe, I played safe when I was down 20, 30, 40 CS, I continued to play safe and waited for that karma gank. And that's what's going to win you games, is thinking about the long term of it, thinking, okay, I need to be strong enough that I can fight or escape from Darius late game. And it doesn't really matter how your team's doing. If your team's 10-0 or if they're 1-10, you still want to be in that scenario where you can help your team by fighting Darius 1v1. If you can't fight Darius 1v1, or if you can't do well against the Ryze that's their enemy mid laner, then you're going to run into situations where they just get to take your towers for free. And that's what you're starting to see with this Darius is falling further and further behind. And so he can't be in lane against me. He has to be under the tower. And every single fight, I'm getting a little bit of this tower poke damage. He's not able to really make a big play on my team, and he can't fight me 1v1. So because he played so aggressive early, and died 3 or 4 or 5 times now, it's kind of snowballing out of control for him. So I get another 700 gold tower. So nothing too special there. I think it was a little bit dangerous for me to be so up front. Like, I'm 6-1, right? Like, I don't want to die there. But it works out okay. I get the kill on Sona, get the kill on Darius. And I'm thinking, okay, let's try to take this bottom turret. But this is a mistake here. We're overstaying. Again, I've got 2,500 gold, right? And they've got almost everyone up. We're just kind of in battle moding. Now Zoe has a big shutdown here. And she ends up dying, and she gives Ryze 800 gold there. So that's really dangerous. If I die here, I'm gonna give another 800 gold, right? Like, I've got a 500 gold bounty, so 800 gold if they kill me, and I've got 3,000 gold in the bank, so I just need to go spend it. And I'm just chilling here. I'm thinking, oh, I can kill Darius if he pushes out. Now, this can be okay because I'm so far ahead of Darius that if he comes out there, I'll kill him. But I have so much gold. Like, getting a kill on Darius doesn't end the game there. Our Zoe's already dead. We're in a situation where if I just go spend my 3,000 gold, I can go buy like an Infinity Edge or something. Like, I can just buy a big item. And I shouldn't be fighting here. I shouldn't be trying to take their tower. I'm just risking a lot. And I see Zoe coming back from lane. I could have been here before Zoe got here with my item. So I actually didn't do anything before that fight. It would have been better for me to be out of lane and just back ping my team and say, hey, we're going to go buy items right now. Zoe's dead. Just play safe for a minute. And that would have been a much better play here. I think in a lot of these cases, I just need to backpick my team. We're not getting anything from being in mid. They're just risking dying, right? Like, poking them out and fighting them, doing what I'm doing is more correct, but it's bad. If they're there, then I typically need to be close by so that if they get engaged on, I can help them. But we need to just not be there at all. I need to back them. I've got 4,000 gold. Like, why am I fighting? Now I see 3 people here. I just start running. I get phase rush, and I just flash away. And again, I flash Darius' Q. And during that was a 3v1. During that, my bot lane trades and has a negative trade, even though they're fighting a 2v3 or 2v4. That's fine. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. It's good that I can draw 3 people there and not die. And that's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on, I've split pushed this entire game. I've died 1 time. And the 1 time I died was a 1v1 at top at like the 7 or 8 minute mark, right? So this isn't a game where you can just split push and just die and say, well, I got 3 people up top. Why did you guys lose your fight bottom? It's, well, I got 3 people up there and I just got to make sure that I don't die. If I die and I'm up there in that 3v1, then I shouldn't have been there, right? I just needed to back up because you can't control your teammates. You can't control what they're going to do. If they make a mistake and they all die, you just got to focus on yourself. What I did there was I survived. It's not perfect, but I'm just doing an okay job. I need to remember, I've noticed just from this game, I spend a lot of time with over 1,000, 2,000 gold, right? Like if I hit 2,000 gold, I need to be going back and spending it. I can't be running around with an Infinity Edge in gold value sitting on my character. That's going to lose me games in the long term. Here, we don't see anything. They could all be at the dragon. They are all at the dragon, right? So shouldn't be walking in and face checking that push. That's a great way to lose your shutdown. So, huge mistake here. Okay, we're gonna rewind that really quick. Right here, I see Aphelios. I see Aphelios there, and I'm thinking, ooh, I want to go on Aphelios. And remember at the start of this game, I said, okay, if I ever see Aphelios, he's my target. I just kind of blanked here and I thought, I can kill that Sona. She's so low. I can just kill her for free. I don't want her healing Aphelios. But this was just totally the wrong mindset. Is as soon as I jump up on Aphelios, hit him with the Q, hit him with the E, I should just finish him off an ult, right? Like he is dead if I kill him. If I don't kill him here, or he really kites me, he starts kiting Zoe, he starts kiting Kai'Sa, we can lose this game, right? It's not going to happen this game because Aphelios is level 14, I'm level 18, Kai'Sa's level 17, right? Like we're all very, very large. But if Aphelios gets this kill, we have a really bad fight here maybe Darius is level 17, Aphelios is 16, Sona's 15, and they all start coming back. So because I had such a good early game, I get away with this really bad play. But that doesn't mean it's a good play, right? Like, even though we win the game off this play, this was a spectacularly bad team fight for me. And I want to like make that point is you need to learn what your goal is, what you need to be doing, and execute on that goal. You can't just look at a win and go, well, I won, so it was a good play, right? You have to look at it and say, oh man, if that Aphelios, like I didn't interact with that Aphelios all game. If that Aphelios has 16 kills there, we lose the game because of that.
Triple kill.
So we snowball, and from here, I think we go and close out the game. So this is what I'm talking about when I say you need to review your games and improve on your mistakes. I'm not just saying, hey, look at every time you missed a cannon minion. Look at every single time you died. I only died one time this game, but I made 5 or 6 big mistakes that could have lost me the game. The very first kill I got, if I had 100 less at HP, we could have lost the game from that, right? I'm running around with 3,000 or 4,000 gold twice, 2 times in this game. I had 4,000 gold just sitting around in my inventory. I needed to spend it. And so these are the kinds of things I'm urging you guys to find in your games and improve on, right? Like, this is Emerald gameplay. If you're above Emerald, you might be working with a whole different subset of things you need to work on. And if you're below Emerald, you might be missing very basic stuff like that level 1 trade where I fought with Darius. You might be dying to him thinking you can fight him, and you fight to the death and you die. And it really sucks because what happens is if you don't know that you can't fight Darius, you might die to him there level 1. And then a lot of that other stuff that I'm talking about doing, like playing really safe, waiting for a gank, not really letting him CS or letting him just push you under the tower and you try to CS what you can, that stuff isn't really applicable when you have 1 or 2 or 3 deaths. Because when you have 3 deaths, it doesn't matter if you get a gank. You're not going to kill that Darius, right? And if Darius isn't trading his HP underneath the tower for tower plates, maybe I couldn't kill him with Karma's help there. And so there's very different scenarios that you're trying to learn and pay attention to in order to improve. And as a newer player, you need to look at why am I losing these fights? Why am I losing these trades in the early game, right? Because the later and later the game goes, the less that your individual choices matter. As you can see, that last game, I made a glaring, huge, massive mistake by not killing that Aphelios, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the game. Most of the game loss, change, big play, massive mistakes are at the start of the game. And there are things like trading with Darius level 1, missing a way too much farm because you're low HP, etc. So go into your games, review them. I do this in first person mode because I record my games and then play them back and watch them while I'm doing like video editing and such. And it's a really good way to learn the game. You can see where you're clicking. So you can see if you're clicking in the wrong spots. You can see what you were watching on the minimap. Like, you could see it, how many times I flipped my camera down and checked on what my teammates were doing. That kind of stuff can be really important for learning, because you can see there before almost every fight during this game, I checked Darius's items. You know, before and after, like going and buying and thinking about my items, I'm looking at what Darius is choosing, how much CS he has, that kind of stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that you guys should be working on. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to come out with more content. And so if you liked this style of me just kind of commenting over a game and showing my mistakes, please let me know. If you like some of my other styles where I did tips and tricks videos, kept it to like 2 or 5 minutes, let me know if you liked that. Or if you prefer the style of video where I just talk about the game in general, things that you can improve on, long form content while a game just plays in the background, let me know if you enjoy that. So please subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.